Do you have some notebooks where you're compiling your info on herbs and/or crystals? Today, I've got one of each to share with you. We've already talked about a couple of other crystals on this podcast, and if you're interested in hearing about those, go check out episode 12, Grounding Techniques in Tiger's Eye, and episode 14, Scrying and Obsidian. Hey, I'm April, the Nerdy Witch, and we are on a witchful journey. Before we begin today's topics, let's kick off with a card reading for the week ahead. Today we're pulling from the Elemental Empath Oracle deck. And today's card is Abundance. Abundance isn't just in terms of money. It's also about your inner power and the things around you and in your life that bring you joy. Things that you're grateful for. Things that help you to see the true value of you and not what the world tells you are your valuable traits. The world we live in generally teaches us from a young age that we are the sum of our accomplishments and successes. It teaches us that if our accomplishments are not great enough, we are less. This is a reminder that that narrative is basically a crock of shit. Now, that doesn't mean don't have goals. It doesn't mean don't work towards the things that you want. And it doesn't mean that accomplishing things is bad. It just means that your path, your lifestyle, your goals, the things that you consider to bring abundance to your life, are for you to decide. Feel it out. Are you on the path that you want to be on? Are you headed in the direction that you want to be headed in? If not, it's time to reassess. Commit to finding out what brings you joy and incorporate that into your life. Generally, that means letting go of something in order to make room for this new thing. If we don't make space for the abundance that we wish to have, then there isn't room for it. It's like having a cup full of water, right up to the rim, and we want to turn it into tea. We can't put a tea bag in the cup to steep without some of that water coming out of the cup, right? Some of that water is bound to leave the cup so that there's space for the tea bag to also be in the cup. Letting some of that water go isn't necessarily a bad thing, but it's necessary if we want to turn the water into tea. Now, I know that's not a perfect analogy, but it's what came to me, so here we are. It's easy to feel down, unloved, undervalued, or hopeless, especially in the world that we're living in right now. It can be hard to see the abundance or make room for the abundance when things around us aren't really reflecting that. If that's something that you're feeling, then I invite you to take some time to meditate and reconnect with your inner light, your inner power. Maybe get a little notebook, even if it's one of those inexpensive little memo books, and designate that as your gratitude book. Each night, write down 5 things that you want, and 5 things that you were grateful for throughout your day. This helps reset your mind for abundance and allows your inner light to shine. So, a little disclaimer, which I should get better at remembering to include, like, every time. I am not a doctor of any kind. I cannot diagnose physical or mental health conditions, nor should my word be taken as gospel in any sense. Any information that I give in this podcast is not meant to be a replacement for any medical advice or treatments and is for general informational purposes. I always recommend checking with your medical team before working with any kind of herb in any form, as some people have adverse reactions depending on allergies, prescribed medications, existing medical conditions, etc. Always inform your primary healthcare provider of any herbs or supplements that you may be taking. Always do your own research on any herbs that you may be considering working with, and not only for yourself, but also keep in mind your children or pets that might be affected by the herb. This could be anything from a smoke form of the herb, to growing it where there's potential for a child or a pet to come in contact with it. Always seek the advice of your mental health provider regarding any questions or concerns that you may have about your own personal mental health and how certain practices may affect you. Now, being that we're in the midst of winter, I'm sure a number of you have experienced some kind of winter illness. There are a number of plants that people use to help alleviate symptoms or speed up the healing from illnesses. One such plant is mullein, which is pronounced a number of different ways. Mullein, Mullein, and Mullein are a few that I've heard over the years. Its scientific name is Verbascum thapsus. It's a biennial plant, which means that it has a 2-year life cycle, though depending on climate, it could be a little shorter or a little longer. After the seeds appear, the entire plant usually dies. In the first year of its life, mullein appears as a rosette of thick, woolly, grayish-green leaves. In the second year, it sprouts a tall, leafy flower stalk. The stalk has a spike of densely clustered 5-petaled, yellow flowers that bloom a few at a time through the latter part of the summer. Each flower is only open for a day, and flowers will self-pollinate if they aren't pollinated by an insect during the day. Seeds appear in the fall. They're pitted, rough, and grooved, and each seed capsule generally contains about 700 seeds. The seeds can stay dormant for a number of years. I've read that up to 100 years, which is a really long time for a seed to still be viable. Mullein is native to Europe and Asia, and has been naturalized in places like the US. It was introduced to the US sometime in the late 1600s or early 1700s in Virginia, originally because the seeds can be used to make a poison that affects fish, a practice called stinging fish. When crushed, the seeds release compounds that stun fish by disrupting their oxygen intake and make them float to the top of the water, making for easier collection. These days, it's generally illegal to use this method because it can damage ecosystems by having a harmful effect on other aquatic life. I do not recommend using this method to catch fish, and the only reason I mention it is because it's part of the historical uses of mullein. And if you are ever in a survival situation, this would be a last resort option for acquiring food to survive. You may have heard some other names for this plant. Common names include, but are not limited to, common mullein, great mullein, candlewick plant, blanket herb, hag's taper, candelaria, woolen rag, cowboy toilet paper, and graveyard dirt. It's a pretty stubborn plant, so it can be found in a number of places around the world. It likes roadsides, ditches, waste areas, and pretty much any well-lit area where the soil's been disrupted. Though it tends to prefer dry and sandy spots, it isn't too picky. And because of this, it's technically considered an invasive plant. We live next to a town building that's basically right on our property line. And 2 years ago, while I was mowing, I noticed a newcomer to the property line. Right in the dry, sandy area along the building, where almost nothing else grows, there was a rosette, low to the ground, and I immediately identified it as mullein. No idea how it got there, but I left it alone. I wanted to see if it would come back the following year. Sure enough, last year it exploded into this majestic, tall, beautiful giant of a mullein plant with a huge flower stalk. There were actually a few of the plants all clustered together, so there ended up being 5 or 6 flower stalks that shot up. I still didn't touch them because I wanted to see what happens this year. If new rosettes show up, I'll definitely harvest some. The growing season is about 140 days, and pollinators include butterflies and honeybees. Fossil records suggest that mullein has been around for at least 115,000 years. That means that it's been around since before the last ice age, or glacial period. It was growing when Neanderthals were still around. Sea levels were 20 to 30 feet higher than they are today, and a number of massive creatures still walked the earth. like woolly mammoths, giant ground sloths, dire wolves, saber-toothed tigers, Irish elks, giant beavers, the megalania, which is a massive lizard, the diprotodon, which was kind of like a giant wombat or koala, and the woolly rhinoceros. So mullein being used for a number of different things comes as absolutely no surprise. There are practical uses, medicinal uses, and magical uses. So let's break it down and start with the practical uses first. We've discussed the historical practical use of seeds for fishing, which, by the way, was recorded by Aristotle in his Historia Animalium around 340 BCE. But I also want to mention that mullein seeds are toxic to humans as well. Consuming the seeds intentionally, especially in larger quantities, tends to cause vomiting, diarrhea, general stomach upset, and breathing difficulties. So I repeat, mullein seeds are toxic to humans. Do not consume them. The leaves of the mullein plant have a handful of practical uses. The ancient Romans used dried stalks of leaves dipped in tallow or oil to make torches that were used for long marches and funeral processions. The ancient Greeks used the dried leaves themselves as lamp wicks, and this, of course, was before cotton became the preferred wick material. Once mullein began to spread throughout America, Native American tribes quickly discovered that the leaves of the mullein plant were great liners for moccasins, for both the cushioning and the insulation. Even some of the early colonists used the leaves for this purpose. Historical accounts say that some Quaker women would rub the leaves on their cheeks for a temporary glowing blush effect. The tiny hairs that cover the plant can irritate the skin, and since the use of makeup was forbidden in the Quaker communities, using the mullein leaves to bring out a bit of natural-looking color was an alternative. Dried leaves can also be used as tinder for getting a fire going. Practical uses for the flowers generally involve creating a dye. The flowers can be boiled to create a bright yellow dye that can be used on fabrics, and historically, Roman women used flowers to steep in lye to dye their hair a yellow blonde. The flowers can also be candied for decorations on desserts, bringing a sweet yet floral flavor. The roots, as far as I know, don't really have a practical use. Now, in terms of medicinal uses, there are no medicinal uses for mullein seeds. I want to drive that home so that we're super clear. The seeds are toxic. They should only be used for planting and nothing more. The dried leaves of the mullein plant can be used for tea. Now, because basically the entire plant is covered in tiny little irritating hairs, make sure you use something like a coffee filter to strain your tea first before drinking it. The tiny hairs can cause irritation in the throat, which defeats the purpose of the tea, as mullein leaf tea is good for soothing coughs and loosening phlegm, specifically when related to bronchitis or tracheitis. It's also good for alleviating general cold symptoms, and it has a mild sedative property that helps people get a good rest so they can continue healing. You can also add mullein leaves to the water when you do a steam inhalation to loosen phlegm and open up the nasal passages. Leaves can be made into a poultice that can be used to help heal bruises, sprains, rashes, burns, abscesses, and is just an overall wound healer. This is something that the Native American tribes would use the plant for. Mullein leaves can be smoked. This method has been used for centuries to help treat respiratory ailments and relieve coughing. The source for that would be De Materia Medica, which was written by Dioscorides some 2,000 years ago. Sometimes they're combined with tobacco or other herbal blends, and it's recommended to invest in a cigarette injector machine so that there's a filter present to keep from inhaling the tiny, annoying hairs. Several sources say that just simply rolling won't prevent the possible inhalation of the hairs, and that makes sense. Now, I'm not encouraging smoking of any kind. All I'm going to say is that I occasionally smoke herbal blends, which is my own personal choice, and what you do with your lungs is between you and your primary healthcare provider. You can make a tincture out of the leaves using a high-proof neutral alcohol like vodka, which is helpful in overall bronchial wellness and can help treat migraines. Rosemary Gladstar has a recipe for this, and so does Star West Botanicals, if that's something that you're interested in learning more about. Similar to a tincture, you can make an extract from the dried leaves. The main difference is that extracts are typically infused with more of the herb and with a lower proof alcohol. Mullein extract is good for overall respiratory health, but it's also an overall immune support buddy because it contains antiviral, anti-inflammatory, and antioxidant properties. Oils can be infused with leaves either by cold steep or warm infusion. When you go to strain it, make sure to filter it well to get those tiny hairs out. After that, it can be turned into an ointment or a salve, or just left as an oil. As a salve or ointment, it can help treat cuts and scrapes and even minor muscle pain. The fresh flowers can be packed into fine sugar in a jar. The sugar pulls out the liquid from the flowers and can be used to create a cough syrup. They can also be added to honey to make a mullein-infused honey syrup for coughs. In Germany, the flowers are steeped in olive oil to create mullein-infused oil that's helpful for treating earaches and hemorrhoids. The flowers can be infused in oil to create salves and ointments that are good for inflamed, dry, cracked skin. You can rub it on the chest for respiratory issues, or gently massage on swollen lymph node areas to aid in moving lymphatic congestion. You can also use the flowers in a tea. The Zuni tribe, which is a Native American tribe in New Mexico, uses the root, which can be dried and ground into a powder to create a poultice for skin infections, rashes, sores, and athlete's foot. An oil infusion of the root is also good for treating athlete's foot. The root is a very underrated pain relief option, noted especially for helping relieve jaw pain, TMJ, Bell's palsy, and tension headaches. Everyone talks about the leaves and the flowers all the time, but the roots are excellent for medicine as well. The downside is that because of where these plants grow, it's difficult to wildcraft the roots without risking harvesting them from contaminated soil. I think for safety purposes, if you're going to harvest the roots, I would say have a specific area of your own that you know isn't contaminated where you can grow mullein for its roots. The other thing I want to note is that when harvesting the roots, there are really only 2 times out of the year when it's worth it to harvest them. And those would be in the fall of the first year, once it's gone dormant, or in the spring of the second year before the flower stalk shoots up out of nowhere. That's when the roots are the most potent. And the root can also be made into a tincture that can help with urinary tract health and with incontinence and strengthening the pelvic floor. The last thing that I want to add is that some of the recipes involving mullein also include elecampane, whose scientific name is Inula helenium, and thyme, whose scientific name is Thymus vulgaris. And that's because they combine well together for cold and cough remedies. So in terms of using mullein in your magical practices, first I want to say, when harvesting mullein stalks, leave a paper bag under it as it hangs upside down to dry. The paper bag will ensure that you catch any falling seeds. And if you have children or pets, make sure to hang the stalks in an area where they can't get to the seeds. Also, when harvesting for your craft, it's good to wait until the second year's growth, when it's matured. Okay. So, associations, properties, and all that. Mullein is associated with the element of fire. That means that it's great for igniting change, transformation, cleansing, renewal, passion, energy, and dispelling darkness. And along the lines of dispelling darkness, it's also good for shielding against negative energy. Because what do we think of when we're surrounded by darkness? Bad things, right? So it can act as a shield to keep bad things out. It's associated with the ancient Roman god Jupiter. In Roman mythology, he's kind of the sky daddy. He's the god of the sky, the thunder, and is king of the gods. In many depictions of him, he's often holding a staff. The flower stalk of Mullein looks pretty similar to a staff that he would hold, and because of this, one of the Mullein nicknames is Jupiter's staff. Also associated with the Roman god Mercury, acting as his guardian against malevolent forces in his travels. Because of this association, Mullein is said to ward off evil spirits and has a strong protective property to it. It's also associated with the Greek goddess Hecate, as it's said that she uses Mullein torches to light the way for the souls that she guides to the underworld. With this connection to Hecate, it only makes sense that not only is Mullein associated with the divine, but it also aids in spiritual connection. It's also said to attract fairies and can be used to communicate with the fairy realm. Magical properties also include protection, purification, courage, and divination. Uses of Mullein for divination sometimes involves using it as an incense, which clears the space of negativity and thins the veil between worlds, and allows for spirit work, or connecting with spirits and ancestors. It also helps to enhance intuitive messages. The stalks can be used as torches and candle wicks in rites to Hecate, who is one of the goddesses of witchcraft, along with her other roles. She's grown in popularity over the years, and many see her as Queen of the Witches, and/or the Dark Moon Goddess. According to a number of practitioners, Mullein stalks are one of her favorite forms of illumination if you plan to petition her. This is part of the reason why some of Mullein's other nicknames are Hag's Taper, Witch's Taper, and Corpse Candle. It has a very long list of nicknames. Mullein is also a sacred plant to the Oya, the spirit of Africa's Niger River. She's grown in prominence as the Queen of the Cemetery Gates, and she's considered to be a very powerful witch and herbalist spirit who protects women and children and has no fear of the realm of the dead. In this way, she's pretty similar to Hecate, so it's no surprise that Mullein is also her thing. Because of the connections to both Hecate and Oya, and the two of them being associated with thresholds between worlds, Mullein is actually an acceptable substitute for true dirt from a cemetery in spells that call for graveyard dirt or dust. This is why one of its nicknames is literally graveyard dirt. I know you were wondering about that early on. And it's not even that hard to make. The only ingredient is dried mullein leaves, and they have to be ground into a powder. Speaking of powdered mullein, I'll just start off our spells section with that. So to make a protective charm for the home, you'll want dried mullein leaves, sea salt, ashes, and a mortar and pestle. Grind the mullein leaves and sea salt into a powder, add the ashes, and combine well. Sprinkle around doors and windows. Another mullein leaf protection ritual is dried mullein leaves, either a white or black candle, a fireproof container, matches or a lighter, and a bowl of water. Set up in a darkened, quiet space. Light your candle and walk around your space with it and focus on the flame's energy and light, purifying as far as the light reaches. Light your mullein in the fireproof container and allow it to just smoke and smolder. Walk around your space with the container of smoking mullein and allow the smoke to create a protective barrier around all of your entry points. Return to your starting point, put out your mullein in the bowl of water, and return it to nature if possible. Side note, this ritual is great for when you're moving into a new home, after having guests over, or when you sense that negativity is creeping into your home. Dried mullein can be burned to banish bad habits. Wearing mullein is said to ward off wild animals, and carrying or wearing it helps keep you shielded when passing through their territory. It's said to either work as a shield or give off a kind of no-touching zone sort of message to the animals. And I think a note on this one would be, don't go meandering through a wild animal's territory on purpose just to test this out. Use dried mullein to cast a circle of flaming torches for added protection of whatever is inside the circle. Keep mullein in a bowl or wear it in a conjure bag when casting spells. This is supposed to enhance the power of the spell through the help of Hecate. A mullein love spell to invoke Hecate includes dried mullein leaves, dried lavender, myrrh, 1 white candle, red wax for molding, a key, a cup of red wine, a fire-safe container, a bouquet of flowers, chalk, mortar and pestle. Combine the mullein, lavender, and myrrh, grind to a powder, and then use the chalk to draw a cross on a flat surface. Either your altar or on a flat, sturdy enough surface that can be moved if needed. This cross represents a crossroads. Place your fire-safe container in the center of the cross. Arrange your key, white candle, wine, and flowers around the container. Melt your red wax and allow it to cool until warm but moldable. Add the herbal mixture to the wax and then shape into an image of your love interest. Infuse the figure with your intentions and desires. Light the white candle and recite, I call the beloved goddess of roads and places where 3 ways meet. Heavenly, earthly, and in the sea, saffron-cloaked goddess of graves, I pray to you, maiden, to attend these rites, always with a kind heart. Take your wax figure and begin melting it at the chest, and say, as this wax melts, by light in the dark, so too does the heart of, the name of your love interest, melt for me. May his or her heart feel no peace until it meets mine in love and in unison. Don't completely melt the figure. Keep the remainder intact in case you need to break the spell at some point. Express your gratitude to Hecate. Allow the white candle to burn down completely, and keep this space set up until the flowers begin to wilt. Once this happens, you can then take all of the items used in the ritual to a graveyard and bury them. A keynote for this spell: many places consider it vandalism if you bury something like spell items in a cemetery. Check your local legal stuff regarding this, and if you're even the least bit unsure, go with an alternative, such as burying the items near your property line. It's a boundary line, which means that it's a threshold, and if you're trying to attract your love interest, burying it on your own property is a good alternative. You can also bury the items at a crossroads, or in a pot of graveyard dirt, whether that's actual dirt or a mullein alternative mixture, and set that somewhere on your property. To make a mullein dream pillow for warding off nightmares, you'll want inexpensive cotton or muslin bags, or you can sew your own bags to create tiny pillows, dried mullein, and if you want to include other herbs that pair well with mullein, you can use calendula to increase restful sleep, lavender to soothe and relax and ease headaches, lemon balm for anxiety and stress and insomnia, marjoram for a feeling of comfort and safety, or passion flower to relax with a bit of sedative. You'll also want fiberfill or some sort of soft filling. Fill your bag 3 parts herbs and 1 part filling. Sew the dream pillow shut, making sure that it's securely closed at all sides and corners. And then place it either inside your pillowcase or leave it hanging near the head of your bed. These little pillows can last for quite some time, especially if you store them in an airtight container if you're not using them. There's a lot when it comes to mullein, and what we've covered today is by no means a complete look. But I do want to take some time to talk about rose quartz, even though we are getting close to when I would typically end an episode. I guarantee this won't be the last time I talk about either of the topics today. So, we all know what rose quartz is, right? I mean, it's one of the most popular crystals out there. It's the one that most people turn to first when beginning on their own spiritual journey, or witchy journey, or what have you, along with other popular crystals like tiger's eye, obsidian, and hematite. Rose quartz is a pink variety of quartz. It can vary in clarity, from translucent to opaque, and it forms at temperatures between 752 and 1,292 degrees Fahrenheit. The color is thought to possibly come from rutile or dumortierite and ranges from a light pink to a deep, rich pink. Some examples would be the strawberry rose quartz, which is a darker pink, and the star rose quartz, which is a lighter pink, rare, higher quality rose quartz that can appear to have a star of light on its surface. Either way, if it's real, the color won't fade easily. Rose quartz, like pretty much all quartz, comes in at a 7 on the Mohs hardness scale, which means it can scratch steel, but it's softer than a diamond. It can be found across the world in places like the US, Australia, Brazil, Madagascar, South Africa, India, Sweden, and Germany. Rose quartz is often used in jewelry, decoration, and meditation. The oldest known uses of rose quartz was in the form of beads that date back to 7000 BCE in what was Mesopotamia. Today, that area would be Iraq. It was highly valued in ancient Egypt, where they believed it prevented aging. And there's evidence that the ancient Egyptians left rose quartz face masks in the tombs of their important people. This is partly why some people use rose quartz in their skincare routines today. Ancient Roman, Egyptian, and Greek civilizations all used the crystal as a potent talisman, with the Romans using it to signify ownership, and the Greeks using it for love, beauty, and reconciliation. In the Middle Ages, medical practitioners used rose quartz in their healing potions. Today, it's often considered an ideal gift to celebrate the 5th year of an anniversary. One of the legends surrounding rose quartz is that Cupid, the Roman god of desire and affection, bestowed the rose quartz upon Earth as a gift of love, passion, and happiness for all. Another legend is that Ares, the Greek god of war, appeared in the form of a boar, intent on killing Aphrodite's lover, Adonis, who he was jealous of. Aphrodite, in trying to save Adonis after he was gored by the boar, accidentally cuts herself on a briar bush as she rushes through it. Her blood and Adonis's both fell upon a quartz stone, which forever turned it pink. By all accounts, the rose quartz is the stone of unconditional love. It's associated with the heart chakra, and meditating with it can help bring a harmonious balance to all of the chakras through the pure love of the heart. It's also associated with the root chakra because its properties can assist with grounding, security, and stability. It's associated with the planet Venus because they represent very similar things. Venus represents love, beauty, and pleasure, which works well with the stone's properties. Also associated with the element of water, because of the fluid, nurturing, and emotionally restorative nature of both the stone and the element. It's also one of the stones of the Great Mother, because of its association to universal, unconditional love. It's quite feminine in tone. And of course, it can be used to honor goddesses like Aphrodite, Venus, Astarte, and Turan. So, properties of rose quartz: self-love, soothing, calming, patience, love, joy, creativity, clearing, physical healing, empathy, cleansing, relaxation, and anxiety relief. It assists with spiritual attunement to the earth, universe, and the divine. It encourages compassion, peace, tenderness, and healing both physically and emotionally. It also provides a rebirth of hope. It excels at attracting new love, rekindling romance, and strengthening existing relationships and intimacy. It can be used to develop closer bonds with family and friends. It inspires a love of beauty in all things. It's helpful for those experiencing heartbreak, self-doubt, or low self-esteem. and it reduces negative thoughts, helps to dissolve fear and resentment. Crystal pairings are a great way to enhance properties of the stone. Some good ones are rose quartz and emerald for enhancing the awakening of the heart, rose quartz and tiger's eye to assist in realizing the heart's desires and moving forward with them, rose quartz and moldavite to enhance spiritual awakening. One little note, use with care. Moldavite can be intense. Rose quartz and black obsidian to encourage a more restful sleep. Rose quartz and moonstone to connect to feminine energy, intuition, and establish emotional balance. Rose quartz and lapis lazuli to promote truth and honest communication in a loving way. A quick note, this is definitely not a complete list of pairings, but it's a great starter list. A little crystal work that you can do to strengthen a romantic relationship. There are 2 ways that you can do this, actually. One would be to create a love altar and place some pink roses, 2 rose quartz hearts, and some pink candles with 2 of them carved with yours and your partner's names on them. Or you can enclose a photo of you and your partner in a heart-shaped ring of small pieces of rose quartz. A bath ritual for glamour includes lavender essential oil, vanilla essential oil, rose petals, rose quartz, obviously a bathtub, and a small mirror. Draw your bathwater to your desired temperature. Use 20 drops of lavender oil and 20 drops of vanilla oil. Sprinkle your rose petals into the bathwater. Put your mirror and rose quartz next to the tub so you can reach them later. If you want, you can either use pink or white candles for the ambiance or to enhance the ritual. They're optional. Ease into your bathwater and soak in it while you do a short meditation on the intentions of this bath. Go through the motions of bathing, using the rose petals to draw a heart that encircles your face, then along the length of your arms, torso, and legs. Take your mirror and sprinkle a few drops of your bathwater over the surface. Then, looking into the mirror, repeat, "I call to the surface my inner beauty. I am attractive in every way. It shines from me as if I glow." And say that 10 times, as 10 is the number of manifestation. Dip your rose quartz into your bathwater, drain your tub, and let your body and rose quartz air dry if possible. And then carry the rose quartz with you. One thing I want to note is glamour spells do fade, so if you wish to maintain this over a longer period of time, it should be done each week. And lastly, let's go over ways to cleanse and charge your rose quartz. You can do this with water. A clean, flowing creek or stream, or even a small waterfall has powerful cleansing ability. But if tap water is all you have access to or time for, that's totally fine. Submerge the crystal in the running water for only a few moments, with the intention held in your mind that you're performing a cleansing, and then allow it to dry. You can cleanse and charge with selenite. Selenite is one of the few stones that can cleanse and charge other stones. Place your rose quartz on a selenite charging plate or in a selenite bowl and leave it there for at least 4 hours to cleanse and charge. You can use sunlight. 4 hours or a little more should be fine. The sun's energy will burn away all negative and/or toxic energy that's clung to the stone. You can use moonlight, preferably the full moon, and leave it there for at least 4 hours to restore the properties of the rose quartz. You can use smoke and let the smoke from a cleansing incense envelop the stone for at least 30 seconds or for as long as it takes to feel cleansed. Hold in your mind your intention of performing a cleansing. Or you can use a singing bowl. Place your rose quartz next to the bowl and either gently strike the bowl with your mallet or run the mallet around the rim to create the sound. The vibrations from the bowl will push out any negative energy accumulated in the stone. And that's it for today. I hope you found our dive into mullein and rose quartz to be useful. Thanks so much for tuning in and hanging out with me today. If you enjoyed this episode and don't want to miss out on future episodes, hit those like and follow buttons. Next up is Imbolc, which is fast approaching us. I can't wait to share it with you. In the meantime, you can find me on Facebook, Witchful Journey Podcast, on Instagram at @a_witchful_journey, on BlueSky at awitchfuljourney.bsky.social, and on YouTube, A Witchful Journey. I enjoy hearing from listeners, so if you pop in, say hi, leave me a rating, or if you're really feeling it, a review. If you feel called to contribute, donate, or buy my next podcast coffee, whatever you want to call it, check out A Witchful Journey on ko-fi.com. That's ko-fi.com. You can also send stories or experiences to awitchfuljourney@gmail.com. I'm April, and we are on a witchful journey.